So on Monday, I think I kind of broke up with my boyfriend, even though that wasn't at all the intention, and I just actually wanted to talk about the relationship itself. I felt like a lot of the feelings just came up to the surface, and I think that deep down, I feel that this might be the right decision. At the moment, we're a bit in a confused space, and we don't really know what to do, and we're trying to figure out if it even still makes sense that we stay together. But at the same time, it's just all very confusing. I don't know what to think. I think this is also the first time that I am in this position where I feel like I want to choose myself. For his privacy, I'm not going to get into the details of this relationship. I will get into the details of how I feel as usual, but I don't even know what I'm feeling, to be honest. There are a lot of feelings that are currently coexisting, and I can not only feel things emotionally but also physically. I'm really exhausted, and yet simultaneously I can't seem to fall asleep at night because of all my thoughts in my head. My allergies are going crazy, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's just everywhere. I feel like my allergies tend to come out when I feel like I'm not in control of my life, or I feel like I have emotions in me that have to come to the surface, and I've been pushing away for too long. I don't know, my allergies work in weird ways. I feel like this is one of those breakups where it feels very different from my past ones. I think that in the past I felt like it was very much tied to my self-worth. I felt like my life was over. And this time it's different, because this time it's just a feeling of sadness and grief, and also there's a lot of fear, which I guess I expected, but the fear isn't something where I'm spiraling anymore. I used to spiral a lot and used to think that I wasn't able or capable to do anything on my own. And this is the first time I feel like, it's somewhere in there. I know that the belief is somewhere in there. It's just a little bit layered with fear, because I know that things are changing. I think it's also very new for me to try and let go, even though I still love somebody, in a more healthy way, in a way where I know that this is something that I do for myself. Anything that deals with lack of self-worth, I guess. This time it really feels like I'm trying to do all the things I promised myself I would do on my own, and just, I don't know, live my life as a single person, and see the world, and also bloom into the person that I know is in there somewhere. And I kind of feel like a cocoon that's ready to turn into a butterfly. And I felt that this relationship was kind of holding me back a little bit, because I feel that I grew a lot individually, but the relationship felt like it wasn't really growing with me. And so I feel that I want to get to know this person that's lingering down below. It sounds so cliche and weird, but I feel like there's a whole part of me that I haven't fully explored, and I think the best way to do that is on my own. And I feel like I just want to get to know myself, because most of my life has always been so turbulent and confusing, and I have just had years where I had no sense of self-worth. I didn't know who I was, and now finally just working through that and going to therapy and growing, I feel like there's a whole part of me that I haven't gotten to know yet, and I want to get to know her. And I think that for a long time now, a part of me knows that this relationship isn't really benefiting that, and it's going different directions. Or rather, I feel like the relationship is a little bit in a stagnant place, and I just want to keep going and just deepen my connection to myself. I felt like in the past week reality wasn't real. It sounds so weird, but I really just felt very weak. I felt like I was dreaming, to be honest, and the things around me that was happening just wasn't happening. I'm so terrified, and I don't really know how people do this. I always hear such courageous stories, mostly from women, just because most of my friends are women at the moment, that choose themselves and, break up and just know that they want to explore more in their life when it comes to themselves without a man and really grow for themselves and see what life has to offer, go for their dreams and hobbies. And I think my fear just stems from the fact that now I don't have an excuse if I break up. Now in the breakup, if I have all these dreams and goals, I feel like, oh my goodness, now I have to actually reach them. But that's neither here nor there, nothing to worry about at the moment. I think I'm also missing a lot of just staying in the present, because I love and hate the feels all at the same time. I know that it's important and good for me, but it also sucks because sadness and grief is just absolutely painful, and growth and all of these things are so painful, and I don't feel like feeling any of it. And that's mostly the reason why I end up staying up late, because I just end up distracting myself on, I don't know, series or TikTok or whatever. And the moment I do that, I know for a fact that I'm distracting myself. There's a lot to be felt, there's a lot to be done, and I think the hardest part is, of course, that no one can choose this and do this for you. This is all up to you, and at the end of the day, only you know what is right for you or what feels right for you, especially in the moment. I feel like for so long I've been thinking a lot about my relationship and how it's working and how it's going up here, but I never actually felt it in here. And I had this conversation with my best friend on the weekend, just a week before. She moved away, and how did she know that it was the right time to leave? And she said at some point it's not something that you think about anymore, it's just something that you feel, and in the moment you just feel that it's the right decision and everything feels aligned. And that made a lot of sense, because that's where I'm at now. I know that I have multiple feelings right now, but I know that deep down I think this is the right decision. I'm turning 28 in October, and I don't want to turn 30 without getting to know myself more on my own and see who that is and what she wants out of this life, truly. I think this is one of the hardest breakups I've had. I feel like with something like this, it's not like you stop caring or loving the person. You still care and want the best for them, and sometimes when you care too much as well, it's just very hard to let go. But then I also end up seeing the pain in his eyes, and I don't want him to go through that over and over again, and it's either now or never, you know? Okay, that sounds very dramatic, but I just don't want him or me to hurt anymore. And I think the longer we drag this out, the more hurt we're gonna get. So the next chapter of this video will probably be when it's happened. So I think, yeah, I don't know, I'm confused. I just got back from my boyfriend's place, and it happened. We've officially broken up, and there are many emotions coexisting at the moment. There's also a sense of relief, because this was very hard, and yeah, there's a lot of things, but I can't really explain any of it right now. I don't have anything else to say.